So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Asphalian's joint webinar with Big Language Solutions, EMA Linguistic Review Process. Before starting, a couple of things to take into consideration. The webinar will last for about 45 minutes. In case you have any questions, please submit them in the chat. We will also send you the presentation, as well as link to the recording shortly. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speakers today. Rana Madanat, life science professional with over 9 years experience across commercial strategy, integrated research, and healthcare data solutions. With a background at IQVA and experience across Europe and the MENA region, she supports pharmaceutical and healthcare organizations throughout the product lifecycle, bridging regulatory, clinical, and commercial perspectives. Also joining us today from Big Language Solutions, Anna Balsamaki, SVP of Operations at Big Language Solutions, brings 20 years of industry experience to her role, leading operation teams across the US, EMEA, and APAC. Her expertise in leveraging technology solutions drives process optimization and enhances operational efficiency. And finally, Victoria Tudanka, Regulatory Affairs Officer at Asphalion. Victoria has extensive experience in the pharma sector and has developed her career across consultancy, the pharmaceutical industry, and the Spanish Agency of Medicines and Medical Devices. This diverse background has provided her with a comprehensive understanding of regulatory strategy from both industry and authority perspectives. In today's webinar, they will focus on understanding EMA linguistic review process for CAPs before approval and for post-authorization procedures. This is the agenda of the webinar, but now our colleague Cindy will talk briefly about Asphalion services. Cindy, please, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Lydia. So for those of you who may not know us, Asphalion is an international regulatory consultancy providing end-to-end support throughout the entire product life cycle, from early development stages to post-authorization activities. Our expertise spans regulatory strategy, CMC, pharmacovigilance, and regulatory operations, which is where today's topic fits in. If we move into the next slide, you'll see that within our regulatory operations, we have a dedicated e-submissions team of more than 10 professionals specialized in electronic dossier preparation, compilation, and publishing that routinely work with EMA, FDA, MHRA, and other European and non-European authorities. So finally, I'd like to mention that our e-submission team plays a key role in the document readiness for registration procedures. We ensure that all product information documents are technically compliant with ICH and regional requirements, including the linguistic review management by ensuring correct formatting, metadata, bookmarking, and validation readiness. We manage version control, compile final approved text, and prepare submission package in full alignment with naming conventions and procedural timelines. We work additionally in collaboration with specialized language partners such as Big Languages to ensure not only the linguistic accuracy, but also the regulatory and technical readiness of the final submission package. So now I give the floor to my colleague Victoria, who will explain in more detail about the linguistic review process.
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what the EMA linguistic review is. The EMA linguistic review is a structured regulatory process carried out after the adoption of the CHMP opinion to ensure that the product information is accurate, consistent, and compliant in all European languages. It applies to centralized procedures and covers both the review of the English reference text and the validation of translation across member states. Its importance lies in guaranteeing that healthcare professionals and patients receive clear, harmonized, and legally compliant information through the European Union. And now I would like to hand over to my colleagues from Big Language Solution, Rana and Anna.
Thank you, Victoria. Please allow me to share my screen. Perfect. So, Big Language Solutions, your partner for life science solutions. Before we dive into linguistic review and regulatory translations, let me briefly introduce who we are. My name is Rana Madanat. I'm the Business Development Executive at Big Language Solutions. I'm a pharmacist by education with more than 9 years of experience in life sciences. Big Language Solutions operates across 6 global locations, serving more than 5,000 customers worldwide with a network of over 7,000 professional linguists. This global reach provides the scale, technology, and infrastructure required to support complex multilingual projects. Since 2021, DORA World Languages, also known as DWL, has been part of Big Language Solutions. DWL was established in 1962 and has specialized in life sciences and regulatory affairs for more than 60 years. That longevity matters because regulatory language constantly evolves, and experience is critical when precision directly impacts compliance and patient safety. Therefore, together, we combine deep life sciences specialization with global infrastructure, technology, and scalability of a larger international group. In this slide, we focus on regulation and compliance. In regulated industries, language is not about linguistic fluency. It's about compliance, accuracy, and ultimately patient safety. Our motto is that you can trust every word. We work across pharma, biotech, and medical devices, tailoring our approach to each vertical. In regulatory submissions, even minor inconsistencies can delay approvals. Our compliance framework is designed to reduce the risk and ensure alignment with authority expectations. Our processes are built around internationally recognized ISO standards, such as 9001, 27001, and 17100. These certifications ensure structured quality management, controlled workflows, risk mitigation, and continuous improvement. In this slide, we talk about the life cycle of life sciences. We support clients across the entire life sciences product lifecycle, from early development and preclinical documentation to clinical trials, regulatory submissions, post-marketing variations, and pharmacovigilance. Our teams understand documentation requirements at each stage. This life cycle approach is important because terminology and documentation evolves as a product progresses. Having a partner who understands that continuity ensures consistency across submissions, markets, and product phases. Now we talk about our expertise in regulatory translation. One of our core strengths is regulatory translation and full linguistic review support. We regularly support European marketing authorization applications in line with EMA requirements, using official QRD templates for both human and veterinary medicinal products, as well as non-EU submissions. We support all major procedures, including centralized, decentralized, mutual recognition, national, and referral procedures, from first drafts through CHMP opinion and post-approval variations. Because EU linguistic review is highly structured and timely sensitive, we ensure strict QRD alignment, correct national terminology, and proactive management of authority feedback, helping reduce risk and avoid delays. Now I will pass it on to our Senior VP of Translation Operations, Anna Balsamaki.
Thank you, Rana. I would like to take this opportunity to present to you our proprietary platform, Language Vault. Language Vault is a secure, intuitive, self-service platform for requesting and managing translation projects, and it affords full visibility to you as clients. It's a one-step solution from quote to completion, tailored to your requirements. It also offers a seamless integration with APIs to make sure that we reduce effort while keeping workflows smooth and efficient. Security is important to us, and we take it very, very seriously, as do our clients. So we are SOC 2 Type 2 certified, and we have other certifications in line with our clients' requirements, primarily in the United States. Now, moving on to Language Vault, I would like to show you a little bit more, walk you through the typical user journey when interacting with the platform. What we'll focus on here is how simple it is for users to log in, submit requests, track their progress, and maintain full visibility over the workflow from start to finish. The process begins with secure access to the platform through the login page. You can see it here. Users can log in directly through their browser without the need for any software installation, which makes the system easy to access from any location. One of the core principles behind the platform design is simplicity. As you can see on this slide, the interface is entirely web-based and very intuitive. Users don't need any specialized technical knowledge to navigate it. The layout is designed so that key functions, such as submitting requests, viewing projects, are immediately visible and easy to access. Security is obviously critical when working with confidential content. To ensure that access remains secure, the platform supports two-factor authentication. After entering their credentials, users are prompted to confirm their identity using a verification code. This additional layer helps protect sensitive materials and ensures that only authorized individuals can access project data. Next slide, please. Thank you. Once the user is authenticated, they enter the main workspace, as you can see here. Now, from this dashboard, they have immediate access to their projects, requests, and key operational functions. This slide shows the unified project dashboard. This dashboard provides a quick overview of all current projects and their status. You can see their various stages in the workflow, along with key deadlines and progress indicators. This centralized view makes it very easy to monitor activity and understand where each project stands without needing to navigate through multiple screens. When users want to start a new project, requesting a quote is very quick and straightforward. The interface guides the user through a simple request process where they upload files, select the required language pairs, and provide specific instructions. Once a request is created in LanguageVault, the project managers on our side, assigned to that specific account, receive a notification and they start preparing the cost estimate. The goal here is to keep the process intuitive and that even complex multilingual requests can be submitted by our clients quickly. Once the quote has been generated by the project manager, the user can immediately view the estimate within the platform. This allows them to quickly review pricing, timelines, and project details. If everything looks good, they can approve the quote directly from the interface and initiate the project. The entire process is designed to be fast and frictionless. The final slide shows a more detailed view of the project workflow for each language pair. Each step in the process has its own dedicated field and is assigned to a specific role, whether that's a translator, a reviewer, or a client affiliate. Only the person responsible for that stage can upload or modify files within that step. This structure is particularly important for version control. It ensures that files are always associated with the correct stage of the workflow and prevents overwriting or confusion between versions. Once a step is completed, the next person in the workflow automatically receives a notification so they can begin their work immediately. This creates a structured, transparent process that maintains full traceability throughout the project lifecycle. So in closing, what LanguageVault aims to provide for our clients is a secure, intuitive, and transparent environment where users can submit requests, track progress, and collaborate efficiently while maintaining strict control over workflows and document versions. Thank you.
Okay, now I will present my screen again. Okay, and I would like to move into the core of today's session, the EMA linguistic review process. After the CHMP adopts its opinion, the linguistic review phase begins. This is a critical regulatory step. Its purpose is to ensure that the broad information, meaning the SMPC, the labeling and package leaflet, is accurate, consistent, and compliant in all European languages. For centralized authorized procedures, consistency across member states is essential. The same products must communicate the same information with the same regulatory intent, regardless of the language. A linguistic review of the product information will be performed at different stages. A pre-opinion linguistic review, which focuses on the English product information, and a post-opinion linguistic review, which cover all European language translations. It's important to remember that timelines are fixed and counted in calendar days, not working days. This is a detail that often creates confusion in planning. And another key point, if a member state considers a translation unacceptable, they must inform the applicant within 3 days of receipt. This means we must ensure high quality from the very first submission. This process applies not only to initial marketing authorization application, but also to variations, renewals, line extension, referrals, and other procedures. So essentially, linguistic review is not an isolated event. It is embedded through the product lifecycle. So let's now look at the pre-opinion phase. The pre-opinion phase forms parts of the overall product evaluation process, and as such, it takes place before the adoption of the CHMP opinion. When submitting during the assessment, only the English product information is submitted and reviewed. This is provided as a clean PDF in the ECTD sequence and as a Word document, tracked and clean version in the working documents folder. This slide outlines the detailed timelines for initial marketing authorization application and line extensions and renewals, clearly indicating at which procedural milestones the pre-opinion linguistic review is conducted during the scientific assessment. Why is this important? Because the English version becomes the reference text for all translation. If inconsistencies remain at this stage, they will propagate across the translation later. From a regulatory operation perspective, this stage requires a strong version control, careful tracking of changes, and alignment with the QRD template. Now we enter the post-opinion phase and the most operationally demanding part. This represents the general schedule applicable to new marketing authorization application and line extensions. And the day 210 becomes the day 0 of the linguistic phase when the CHMP opinion is adopted. At day 215 or day 5, meaning 5 calendars days later, draft translations must be submitted. This includes product information and annexes translated into all European languages, Word versions, both track and clean, QRD Form 1, and the day 215 checklist. Then, by day 229 or day 19, member states provided comments. These comments are often very specific: terminology alignment, national linguistic preference, QRD consistency, or formatting corrections. At 235 or day 25, final translations must be submitted incorporating all member state comments. This submission must include Word track and clean, PDF track and clean, QRD Form 2, and the day 235 checklist. For new active substance, there is an additional requirement that translation in all languages plus IRIS in a separate INA table. Finally, at day 237 or day 27, EMA transmits the final versions to the European Commission. At this stage, no further revision are expected. Here in the image on the right, you can see the breakdown of the timeline that are just explained day by day. As illustrated in the image, the timelines are particularly tight. This makes proactive planning and close collaboration between regulatory and translation teams critical to ensuring full compliance with the deadlines set by the EMA. Post-authorization procedures follow a slightly different rhythm, but follow the general outline above. In this case, we talk about the type 2 variations, where at submission, only the English product information is required in track Word format. And once the CHMP opinion is adopted, at day 5, the marketing authorization holder must submit a translation to EMA and the member states. At day 19, linguistic review comments are issued by one member state, coordinated by the QRD member. At day 25, the final translation incorporating member state comments must be submitted, including a Word track and clean, PDF track and clean, QRD Form 2, and the day 25 checklist. And at day 27, the European Commission issues its decision without further revision. This means that the day 25 submission must be absolutely final and validated. For type 2 variation, a linguistic review is always required. For urgent 30-day safety procedure, require translation in parallel to scientific assessment. This is done to save time in the subsequent stages of the procedure, as they are usually urgent safety-related cases. So again, planning and coordination are therefore essential. Here we see different post-authorization procedure. For type 1A variation and type 1B variation, complete translation are submitted at the time of submission. For type 1A variation, no linguistic review is conducted, and the applicant must ensure translation are correct. For type 1B variation, a linguistic review is usually required, but not always. Product is conducted in parallel to the scientific assessment and follow the same process as type 2 variations. For groupings, the linguistic review follow the highest procedure type included in the group. For word setting procedures, the review applies only to centrally authorized products and follow the type 2 variation schedule. The linguistic review is performed by, for one, centralized authorized product, assuming similar changes apply to the other centralized product, and the review targets the product with the most changes. In the case of both grouping and word sharing procedures, the English product information incorporating all changes, including in the group, must be provided as submission in track Word format. Article 61.3 notification typically involve minimal changes, such as editorial updates or QRD template alignment. The applicant is responsible for translation accuracy, but in cases where extensive changes to the product information require a linguistic review, this review is conducted in parallel with the scientific assessment and follow the timetable of type 2 variation. Annual reassessment, renewals, referrals, periodic safety update reports, and past results follow the same schedule as type 2 variations. So operationally, type 2 timelines often serve as the reference model. In this slide, we will look at some specific cases and details. For generic, hybrid, and biosimilar application, the post-opinion principles are the same as for the new marketing authorization applications. However, this application must follow the reference medicinal products approved annexes in all European languages. Any difference must be clearly identified in QRD Form 2. Importantly, only the English version should show track changes compared to the reference product. Informed consent application do not follow the linguistic review process. And if a reference product concludes simultaneously with a generic or biosimilar, both undergo parallel linguistic review. And lastly, for small and medium-sized enterprises, translation are required only for English, Norwegian, and Icelandic. The CDT handles the remaining translation and coordination. Now we move into formatting and submission requirements. Regulatory compliance is not only about the content, it is also include technicals compliance. Therefore, applying the current naming convention and formatting standard before submission is crucial to ensure a smooth validation and avoid delays. Naming conventions are strictly defined. So the combined document is submitted as a single document and include the SMPC, Annex 2 labeling, the package leaflet, and Annex 4 where applicable. And the other documents refer to any annex submitted separately and identified in the variable part of the file name with the tag AA for Annex A or A127A for Article 127A conditions. For the file naming, remove any zero that may appear in front of the EMA product number and organize the file name in accordance with the following file naming convention. Use only lowercase character and hyphens are separators. The document naming convention are specified in the blue box as follow. Product information clean as EMA combined age for human, EMA product number, language code. Product information track, the same EMA combined age, EMA product number, annotated language code. Annex A as EMA other age, EMA product number, AA language code. And Annex 127A clean and track as 127A an annotated language code. Below, you can see the codes used to identify each language corresponding to the respective European countries. On a more technical level, we will now look at the formatting requirements for the product information combined bookmark within the linguistic review process. The image on the left illustrates the bookmark structure that must be included in the combined product information document submitted during the linguistic review. The required top-level bookmarks should include, when it is applicable, summary of product characteristics, a manufacturer of the biological active substance and manufacturer responsible for bar release, B, conditions or restrictions regarding supply and use, C, other conditions and requirements of the marketing authorization, D, condition or restriction with regards to the safe and effective use of the medicinal product, A, labeling, B, package leaflet, and conclusions on the granting of the conditional marketing authorization presented by the European Medicine Agency when applicable. And the following settings must be applied in the PDFs. The bookmarks panel and page view must be enabled in the navigation tab. The page layout must remain set to default. The magnification must also remain set to default. And in the bookmark properties, the zoom level must be set to inherit zoom. For formatting the product information and annexes, the PDF properties must include a title, author, subject, and keywords as shown in the screenshot on the left. Title and keywords as imaginary name, AAN, active substance, author as CHMP, and subject as EPAR, European Public Assessment Report. The Word file must be saved as docs, and personal information must be removed. Track Word files must include the specific EPAR title format as medicine name, EPAR, product information, track changes. These technical requirements are part of the regulatory compliance. Now let's move on to see how these translations are submitted. In terms of the submission, at day 5 or day 215, submissions are made via Heudrelink to the QRD mailbox, copying the product share mailbox. You must ensure that the Heudrelink link is set to expire in at least 30 days at the time of submission. Subject lines must follow the defined structure as well as the zip file name. Heudrelink subject as product name, procedure number, post-opinion review, day 215 submission. Annexes will be in a zip folder as work clean in new marketing authorization application and in Annex 127A. Languages, all European languages and plus Irish in Annex 127A. And the file name as product name, day 215, product information, all languages, or product name, day 215, Annex 127A, all languages. Correct structures avoid processing delays. Finally, at day 25 or day 235, submissions are made via Iris rather than Heudrelink. However, this does not change the linguistic review process. Translations are simply sent through this platform. The marketing authorization holder will provide the full set of annexes as applicable in all European languages to the member states by Heudrelink with a copy to the agency. The marketing authorization holder uploads the final translated documents through the Iris portal at the end of the linguistic review process, rather than using Heudrelink. The documents can be uploaded as separate files or a zip folder if the size of the documents does not exceed 50 megabytes. The translation timetable is visible within the Iris portal in addition to the procedural timetable document. As shown in the next slide, the subject line must clearly state the product name, procedure number, and whether it's the day 25 or day 235 final submission. Both the subject line and the zip file name must strictly follow the required structure. The annex will be word track and PDF clean in case of product information, word clean and PDF clean in case of Annex A, and word track and clean and PDF clean in case of Annex 127A. The languages are all languages and plus Iris in Annex 127A, and the zip file name as product name, day 25 or 235, product information track or product information PDF in product information, product name, day 25 or 235, Annex A or Annex A PDF or languages in this Annex A, or product name, day 25 or day 235, Annex 127A or 127A PDF, all languages in this annex. So to conclude this webinar, the EMA linguistic review process is highly structured, timely driven, and technically detailed. Success depends on early preparation, strong version control, close coordination between regulatory translation and publishing teams, and strict adherence to formatting requirements. So remind, linguistic review is not just translation, it's regulatory compliance in every European language. So thank you all very much for your attention.